All right, today we're going to paint some calm. We're going to connect to nature through the art of watercolor. I have a cup with some water, paint brushes, paper towel. This is just cardstock, a lid, a spray bottle, and some paints. The spray bottle isn't necessary, but it makes things a whole lot easier. There's two different ways you can get your paints wet. First, you can just take water and splash it into your paints until you have a nice puddle in there. The other way is you can take a spray bottle and you can spray water in. We're going to mix our paints on a palette. This lid can be used as a palette. Now, I wouldn't suggest using the lid that comes with the paints because when you close the lid, all those colors will just fall right into your paints. To mix a color, we're going to splash some water onto our palette. I'm going to splash on some green. Wipe off my brush, splash on some blue. I'm going to take some yellow, splash, splash, splash. Instead of scooping, no. Splashing, yes. Now, if you put the color directly on your plate, it's going to be less watery than when you add the water first and add color to it. Now, I already had some color on my plate from last time, but you can see that when I added water on top of it, it got activated again. So let's try activating another color. If I put water on top of this color that has dried, it will reactivate it. I have 3 brushes here. This is a craft brush. It's made for primarily glue. I wouldn't suggest doing watercolor with this brush. This brush came with the paints, and you'll notice that it wasn't cleaned and it is rock solid. And the top is loose because somebody left it in their paint water. And then this is a brush that I'm going to be using, and it's a round brush. You can get a variety pack off Amazon for pretty cheap. Now that we know the basics, let's start painting some leaves. I'm going to take some color off my palette. Press lightly with the tip, very, very lightly, so it's barely touching the paper. Then push down and lift up. Let's try that again. Load up your brush with paint. That just means splashing it in some color, some watercolor. Gently, 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 barely, barely touch. Press. And lift. Load up the brush. Gently touch, press, release. Gently touch, press, release. Now the leaf we just painted is very similar to this succulent leaf when turned on its side. But when we rotate this leaf, it becomes fatter. So let's try painting this. All we have to do is reload our brush, barely touch touch, press, and lift. Now how about this long leaf? From the side, just looks like it gets thinner on this end, a little bit thicker, and then thinner again. So let's try it. Load up my brush. This one's got a little bit darker color, so I'm going to mix these two. And it's a little bit more gray. Maybe I mix a little blue in. Just experimenting, maybe a little purple. Barely gonna touch. I'm gonna press, 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 and then slowly release. Okay, if we look at this next leaf, we fold it in half. It's the same on both sides, meaning it's symmetrical. The colors in it, if I look real close, I see blues and yellows. And the colors are not the same on both sides. The colors are not symmetrical. It's darker here than on the edges. So let's get a variety of colors on our palette. I'm just going to experiment. Splash in some colors, add it to your palette. Add water. Start by adding water. Maybe you make a color with 2 different kinds of green. Once you have a variety of colors on your palette, let's look at the leaf again. We see that it's got some serrated edges. It also has little fur on the edges. Got yellow on the insides, darker in the center. Let's just play with some shapes and see what happens. So traditionally, people might think, oh, let's just draw this leaf. Sure, you could do something like that. I think there's an easier way. It feels better to me, more relaxing, more calming, to press and release. I'm just going to press, release, press, release, press, release. Get another color. Press, release, press, release, press, release, press, release. Now I just drew a line down the center so I can try to make it at least a little bit symmetrical, meaning the same on both sides. But remember, the colors were not the same, so I'm dipping into different colors on my paint palette as I go around. Press, release, press, release. Notice that it makes a different look when I press with the tip pointed out than it does when the tip is pointed in. Add a stem. What different shapes can you make by just pressing and releasing? Now, out of all the leaf shapes that I made, I found this one the most relaxing to make. So I'm going to choose this leaf shape for my mandala. Mandalas are really relaxing because we're going to use repetitive shapes and just continue with that repetitive shape over and over and over. I'm using these blank postcards, but you can use any type of cardstock or a thicker paper. I'm going to take a red cup because the circle fits perfectly on my postcard. I'm just going to trace around the outside edge. Next, I'm going to pick a color scheme. I'm going to choose some fall colors. Put some water on my palette. Add some blue. Maybe add a little red to my blue to deepen it and darken it. Add some water. Add some brown. My colors were too close together and they mixed. All right, I'm going to mix up some colors that I like. I'm going to start by adding some water to my palette. And I'm going to add water in areas where the water isn't going to run into each other. Otherwise, those colors are going to mix. All right, 5 colors is a good amount. First, I'm going to add some blue. Into that blue, I'm going to add a little bit of red. And then a little bit more blue. Next, I'm going to make a golden brown color. And add some brown, a little red, and a tiny bit of orange. I'm going to mix up a green. Add a little blue. Maybe a tiny bit of purple. Add a yellow. And a little bit of brown. And then more of a pure yellow, a little bit of orange. I'm going to make a little design because once I start painting, I don't want to think much about it. I just want to be calm and relaxed and do repetitive motions. So I'm just going to paint, quickly draw, sort of a spiraling pattern. Now it's not going to be perfect because nature isn't perfect, and that imperfection is what's going to make it beautiful. Then I'm going to begin painting. Choose color. Lightly touch, press, and release. Lightly touch, press, release. Lightly touch, press, release. Lightly touch, press, release. I'm really not concerned about where I'm putting these, what colors I'm using, not even thinking about it. I'm just doing the motion. I don't care if they're big, if they're small. Just doing the same thing over and over. Maybe I brushes touch my brush. Sometimes I'll add more water. Maybe I'll make some leaves bigger. Whatever you do, let's make it consistent. In that, don't think about it too much. Just let yourself paint. Now, after I've already painted, I can go back in with touches of color. Vibrancy to some areas. Of them. You want that dimension of light and dark. Next, you can add a little bit of modern touch to it. I'm going to load up my brush. I'm going to hold it a little bit above the page. And I'm going to gently tap.